was this nurse at a terminally ill hospital, you know, where they go, a doctor looks at you, they say, there is nothing else we can do for you. So they send you to a home where you wait for time for you to pass. She made it her business, and actually it gave her a PhD. She talked to 100 patients before they died. And one of the things was to win their confidence enough for them to open up to her. She says out of the 100 people she talked to and documented, there was not a single one. There was not who wished they were in the office more times. All of them wished they could have spent more time with with their family, with their social life, with something outside the office. Do you see the relevance of my being here? That at the end of our time, we will recall more the times we lost with family or gained with family. So risk management, which is the theme, it's also looking at you. Today you talked about succession, about passing the baton, about the new generation. So if you do not take care of yourself, do you realize you could be the biggest risk in your circle?
Yes.
Only one person has agreed, so I can move on. There was also this gentleman, very serious accountant. Maybe he was an ISPAC out there, like us, CPA, K, and so forth. Very serious, very committed. He used to leave the office late. He would take his laptop home, go and work. The next day, his reports were always impeccable. They were totally correct, no mistakes. He could never allow it to happen. Until one day, he woke up and went to see the doctor because he had been feeling very unwell. So the doctor did the tests for him and he told him, I'm sorry. Hello?
Hello.
He told him what?
I'm sorry.
But you only have 3 months to live. You wouldn't want to hear that, isn't it? And doctors have this funny thing of telling you, if we had known sometimes earlier, hello? So this gentleman now decided the money he had saved, he is just going to buy a ticket, he's going to rent a house in Maldives. How many people know where Maldives is? You don't like tourism destinations? It's one of the best places to go for holiday. So make some money and go there sometime. So he paid a ticket, got himself a house in Maldives, not even a hotel room, and decided the 3 months he is going to live like a normal human being. Wake up, go to the beach, see some friends, talk to people on the phone, go back to the hotel, repeat the process until death comes. But 2 months into the time, he decided to go and say bye to all other friends, including the doctor. So the doctor told him, now that you have come, can we do some tests? There was not a single item that was wrong with him. Somebody who had been given 3 months to live. What does that tell you? He came to discover the way we dress. Even me, I came in a suit and a tie, but then the weather here, I thought we were going to be inside. So he would be in a tie. But the way we are lazy sometimes, you know, neckties, you're supposed to get your size, isn't it? So this gentleman, the first time he bought, and you know, in the US, the tailor measures your neck, he starts making sure, every time you need a shirt, you just give an order. Do you know what was wrong with him? The tie was too tight. His shirts were too small. So immediately that he learned that he could actually survive, he changed his lifestyle. Have I said anything? No, not yet. My story was a big disappointment to my family, my friends, my relatives. They could not understand how I could leave Coca-Cola. How do you work for 14 years for Coca-Cola and suddenly you say, I am retiring at 39? Habari yenu? 30 what? People think, unaacha Coca-Cola uende wapi? But because I was the first generation of programmers, those people who now are called developers, we had a lot of work. Things were changing too fast. We were supposed to be in meeting. When you are putting this report up, Atlanta is calling, South Africa is calling. You are supposed to go for a training in Germany. You're supposed to go to Nigeria. You're supposed to go to South Africa. pressure built in my system. I actually was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I will not go into that story too much. But I decided I have to find a way of getting out. I can't handle this. My son was going to Form 1. And they told me, when I told them I need a change of workplace, a change of work, they told me, we'll change the place you are working. So you have two choices. You either go to South Africa or you go to Ghana. Because it was Coca-Cola Africa. For me, I said no. I'm not going to any of them. Wow. So, I'm not going to any of them. My son was just going to Form 1. My daughter was two, three classes behind. The other one was just in primary school. I had seen my colleagues who had gone to work all over Africa. It was a 10-year contract. You come back. Yes, they give you 3 tickets per year to come and see your family for 2 weeks. But in 10 years, tell me, your daughter who was 18 will you have a relationship with that daughter anymore? So I chose not to go and actually took early retirement and based it on health grounds. Many people called me foolish. Now, foolish is a bit nice where it comes to your wife. Don't you think she used to put much deeper words? Aya, amunisikia ama ni nini? You don't have wives, guys. Don't you think her words were harsher than foolish?
They were.
But here I am. Because the medication I had been told I'll take for the rest of my year, I did not even take for 6 months. Because I discovered God and God gave me a path and now I am pressure free. Okay, huwa inarudi because of that same wife occasionally. Anyway, so whatever you do with that information,
It's up to us.
so when I was told to talk about work-life balance, I decided to take this picture rather than the one that shows an arrow. It would show a pivot here, isn't it? To show like there was balance. I chose the one with a roller because work-life balance is not static on a day-to-day. Today you could have more work, tomorrow you have more life. So sometimes it rotates. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with what you are doing, but sometimes it needs you to be cognizant of exactly what are you doing. So we are going to explain this, and these are the objectives. The first one, of course, will be to understand the concept of work-life balance. The second one is to create boundaries. Because let me assure you, we need you. We need who? That association you are running. Do you know how many millions of people are dependent on it? So if you collapse and die, yes, tutajua kwenu, sawa? But after that, the next Monday, somebody will be seated. Habari yenu? Let me warn you early enough. There are only 3 things in my life when I'm doing presentation. You either like me, you hate me, but please don't ignore me. That's my only fear. So, you'll also understand that it is possible to engage fully at work and also at work. That's the wheel of life. Those are the aspects you're supposed to have for your life to be in balance. There are 8 of them. So if one area is down, you are going to have issues. So you can see out of 8, there is only finance and career. The other 6 are personal. But if we were to draw a graph of what you are actively doing right now, how would it look like? You are spending 90%. I'm not saying you. I'm just using kizungu yenye nilipewa. 90% of the time you are thinking about work. So we want to readdress that issue. There is an issue. If you want to look for work-life balance, you need to do something more than what you are doing now. Yet I don't know you. But I met a few of you yesterday, today morning. I introduced myself. I asked them about their Sacco. How are they doing? How is their personal life? Most of you are excited about the work you are doing. So I know you are adding value to life. You are concerned about the associations that you run. But today, I want you to remember that person you saw in the morning. By the way, how many people looked in the mirror today? Did you look at your face? Thank you. Nani hawakuangalia? Wenye wako na uso personal, si ndio? Habari zenu. Uso personal ni gani? Okay. So I want you to write something down as we start. And don't tell me you are writing on the phone. There are very few people here who can use the writing notes on the phone. There is something that happens subconsciously as you write. As you write on a piece of paper, it also is writing on your subconscious. In our training, we have something called mindset reprogramming. And you remember the gentleman with the caterpillar? Inaitwa nini hiyo? Chameleon. Hiyo ya miguu hiyo. You remember he talks about mindset. Because at the end of the day, if you don't reprogram your mind, you are going to constantly do the same things over and over. I want you to write this statement. Do not let your work life become your life's work. Do not let your work life become your life's work. Write a second statement. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of the universe. Some people call the universe God, Allah, whoever it is, no less than the stars or the moon. No less than the stars or the moon. It actually comes from a song, isn't it? I am a child of the universe, in bracket Allah or God, no less than the stars or the moon. The last statement. I want you every day now, from today, when you wake up and look in that mirror, you're getting yourself ready. You say, God took a bit more time to create me. Hey, hapa, Ivy. Sense of humor. God took time to create me. God took a bit more time to create me. You look in the mirror and appreciate God's work. We also need you to be healthy. So, as we go ahead with this, let us now look at what are these aspects we are talking about. Why are we learning this? For two things. To improve the quality of life, because at the end, like that nurse told us, at the end of your life, and I hear somebody does not pass away without having an opportunity to review their life. Habari zenu? So that picture you will see just before you die, are you going to say I lived a full life or I was constantly at work? All right? So, we also want to see that you can actually prioritize the things you do at work, be efficient to a point where you go home satisfied. I don't know how many of you do exercise. You feel tired while you are doing it, but after you take the shower, you feel so good even if you are tired, isn't it? The same feeling should be there. When you have actively done your work during the day, you reach home, and in fact I would encourage you, something I learned way back in Germany when they were training us in Coca-Cola, that when you reach home, please remove everything you had at your workplace. The clothes, the tie, the shoes, wear a tracksuit. Okay, I'm not talking to the ladies right now. Musivae ile nini kwa kichwa. Inaitwa nini? Stocking. I just mean change the home clothes, change the office clothes for home clothes so that you leave the work. If you are still carrying your laptop home for more work, for more than 2 days in a week, there is something wrong with you. You have not built the systems. See, I told you I'll be harsh today because I need you. I need to come here another time. We talk about other things so that whatever knowledge you have, which has made you a director of this Sacco, we can get more of it. The vision, helping people to move from one point to another. We need you. Take care of yourself. So, the second thing, is it possible to do quality work, have time for yourself, and still be someone we'll be seeing later on? So the first thing I want to talk about is mindfulness. I want you to write that word, mindfulness. Mindfulness can be written in numbers. Ile inawekwa down. Ni Roman numbers. Mindfulness, under it, write the first Roman 1. Consciously aware. That is the first one. Consciously aware. Number 2, deliberately focused. Deliberately focused. Number 3, purposely connected. Purposely connected. Number 4, living in the now. Living in the now. So what am I trying to say? You got all of them? Sorry. Consciously aware is the first one. Deliberately focused is the second one. Purposefully connected. Living in the now. So what am I trying to say? When you are at work, be at work. When you leave work, leave work. How many of you can honestly say you are doing that every day? It might not be possible 2 times in a week, but beyond that, if 3 days in a week you are late in the office, you carry work home, when you're at home, you are thinking about the office, something is wrong. So, do the maximum every day. Is it possible? Yes. And I also want to tell the CEOs, and a number of them are here, stop being a roller coaster. Don't be ritualistic. Don't be a conveyor belt. In my department in IT, I learned early enough that I could actually empower the people in my department to take some roles completely. In fact, the only time I would never be away is on the 23rd of every month, because I must sign the payroll. Hand sign the payroll. Nobody else had that authority. But putting in the data, checking whether it collaborates, looking at the general ledger, looking at all those things, they could be done by the people in my office. But also, when the computer system went down, I was the only person who could work on it, and I could work from 8 a.m. in the morning. The system collapses in the afternoon. I work until 3 a.m. I go home, take a shower, and by 6 a.m. I'm back in the office. But at the same time, that system, when it is working, I could actually afford to be away for 6 days. I'm the kind of guy who could go to the gym during the day. Management understood my working system. Because I could never be paid for overtime, I used to get it in terms of off. So if you are doing your work well, do you need to be in the office all the time? It's a question, I'm not saying anything. The second thing is, if for the 3 days you have been here, you are constantly walking out to answer office things, you have not empowered your people enough, or your system is so dependent on you, and that is a topic for another day. Can you manage when you are at work? I see a few smiles. Kuna watu wanatembea tu nje kusikiza simu to give instructions. So, avoid distractions when you are doing your main tasks. That means in the morning, and we are going to do an experiment here. In the morning, decide what are the 5 things you are going to do. I'll talk about that. So, can you manage without multitasking? You're picking the online phone, you have your private phone, and at the same time you're signing documents. Look for a way to systemize your work. Alright? If you're a CEO. But, so, before, I'd like you to draw that picture. Thank you for ignoring me. At least you are my classical example. And you. And you. Can you see what is on the screen? But you're comfortable. Please draw this picture. This is the way to persuade people to come where you want, isn't it? Please draw this picture, and then we analyze it. No. Where are my key guys?
No, we can push it to the podium.
It is a bit small. The screen is a bit small.
Mkiweka podium wale wataona. Muisongeshe juu pale. Then be able to see.
Hamwezi hama kidogo.
Hebu weka pale.
Hamwezi hama kidogo. There's so many empty
Nyuma,
seats huku.
waulize kama wanaona, iweke pale.
They are comfort zone, so they are healthy there.
Okay.
Taangusha nini?
So I want you to draw that picture. Draw it quickly so that we turn it this side before they finish, because I don't know, I don't have so much time. Draw that big jar. Draw the stones. Draw the sand. There's no water there, yeah?
Check.
There is sand. Yeah, turn it this side.
Tilt tu kidogo.
Kidogo tu. Bado hawataona, we have hawana bahati. Haya, so this is the assignment. We want you to fill this bucket. Sorry, this is not a bucket. It's a glass jar, isn't it? This is a jar. So that jar, we need to fill it with ballast, water, stones, and sand. See, those are the things you have drawn in the other picture. That one. I want all of them to fit in that jar. Now, write the process down quickly. How are you going to do that? I want all of them to get into this jar. Umesema haiwezi turn huku. Hawataki kuondoka. They're in comfort zone like the gentleman has said. Ni wachana nao.
But they can let it onyeshe. Just tilt it.
Tilt it iangalie huku kabisa. Aya, draw that one, please, quickly. The rest of you be writing. How do you put all those things inside the jar? They are rocks, not rocks, stones, ballast, sand, and water. I want all of them to fit into the jar. So write the process. First, I will put this. Second, I'll put this. Third, I'll put this. Very quick assignment. You're good? You okay? You're done? Okay, can I have another mic, please? Someone who has finished on this side, please tell me how you're going to do it. How do you put so that all of them fit into that jar? Remember there was water, there was ballast, there are stones, and there is sand. When I train people for time management, this and the next picture I'm going to put here is what I use most. So, anybody who has finished can tell us how they are going to do it. Please give him the mic. And thank you for participating.
First, you fit in the rocks.
The rocks.
Then the pebbles.
Then the pebbles.
Then followed by sand.
Followed by sand.
Yeah. Then you pour water.
Then you pour water. You have a feeling it will fill. It will toshare.
Yeah, that was
Anybody with an opinion? Another opinion? There's another one here then. And the last one will be from that gentleman. So you have ballast, water, stones, and sand. What is the process of filling all of them inside? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I will start with the sand.
Uh-huh.
Then I love pebbles.
Uh-huh.
After which I put the ballast. Is it ballast or the rocks? The rocks,
Yes.
and then I fill the water.
Okay, that's another opinion. The last one, because I have a lot of slides. The same. So, the rest of you, who is correct out of the two? The first one. You know why? When you put in the bigger rocks, they leave spaces for the sun to go in between, isn't it? And then, what are we putting first? The stones, we put ballast, then after that we put the sand, and finally, now, that is the process if you are a CEO or if you are a work person who goes to the office every day. Pick the 5 most important, prioritize those activities for that day. What are the 5 things you are going to make sure you do that day? Then the next one, pick the next most important. After that, the third most important. By the time you are hitting 2 p.m., you have done most of your day's work. But you cannot keep mixing the rocks, the pebbles, the water, the sand. No, there has to be a system. So, this is also something we discuss almost half an hour. If somebody comes to your office, like for example, if I was a CEO, and people are constantly running to my office with something urgent, one time I will forgive you. The second time I will tell you, we want important things. Because people are doing urgent in quotes, meaning they are coming to take over the priority you had set for your work. They tell you, easy t-shirt, tuko na team building on Saturday, we need t-shirts. When did you plan for the team building? Almost a month ago, isn't it? So why is it so critical that now I have to sign your papers? And this is something I train the people in Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, who are procurement people. Because every time people are rushing to their office, we need this by tomorrow evening. There is a function, we need cards. I have run out of cards, I'm going for a meeting. So we have a policy of dividing urgent things and important things. And you should only prioritize the ones that are high importance and urgent. Wisha, the important things are critical. If you are going to be doing urgent. We have an urgent meeting on Saturday. There is something that has come up. We are meeting on Saturday. Learn to plan. Now, in your paper, please write 5 lines. One side, work. The second side, life. Write the 5 things you like about your work. Write the 5 things you like about your life. Just divide your page into 2. Salimia huyo mzee hapo. Mwambie nampenda. Okay. So divide your page into 2. On one side, write work as a top of the list. On the other side, life. I want you to write 5 things you like about your work and 5 things you like about your life. Only 3 minutes. Don't think, just write as they come to your mind. Five only. You can even write just one word. You can even just write one word. What do you like about work? One word. 2, 3. Then you go to the side of life. What do you like about life? 1. Just one sentence. What is your sentence? One word. How many have finished? One more minute. One more minute. And don't cancel anything. Every answer is correct. Seconds. Okay. How many people have 5 items they have written for work? 5 items. Only 1. Yani hampendi kazi. About life, how many people have 5 items? 5 items. Kai. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Tuko na shi? Oh, 6. Tuko na shida. Who has written on the side of work, it pays the bills? Hapa people are not honest. Oh, two of them are honest. 3. Eh? Source of finance is fine. It's okay. That is also like it pays the bills. Cost of living. Huh? So, if you find that you have only 3 items on the side of life, but 5 on work, you are out of balance. Simple. If you have 5 items on the side of life, but only 3 on the side of work, then you are denying your employer or the person who pays you that what they pay you, you are denying them the opportunity to be served well. So do you see why we are here this afternoon? So, if you want to know the signs that you are out of balance, I'll not read all of them. I have so many of them. I'll just summarize them. If you find yourself, one, cannot stop thinking about work while you are away from work. Umefika home and all you are thinking about is work. You are out of balance. The second one, your relationships might be suffering. Your children don't see you enough. You don't go for academic days. You don't go for sports day. You don't go. Abarizen? What's that, Muko? Muko. You are irritated even with colleagues. You are distant with and feeling detached. You are disconnected with loved ones. Hello? Hello? Every time they say we have a function, where end na watoto? Mimi niko na kazi. Habari yenu? If every time you have unexplained aches and pains, you are unable to focus on many things. And lastly, you struggle to take time off when you are sick. Imagine there are people who go to the office, but they are still sick. Why? They can't trust anyone else doing their work, for one. Two, they don't think anybody else is as good as they are. Three, they don't appreciate those people who are meant to be taking over from them. So, how many of those signs do you have? Are you having poor sleep? Are you feeling unhealthy just like that? And do you know the cases of mental health have gone up so high, you will be shocked by the statistics. 5, another one, poor attitude towards work or colleagues. You can't be bothered. Yani hata ukikuja seminar kama hii, unashindwa what ni kizungu mingi watu wanaongea. You don't even see you are part of it. Sorry, madam. All right, poor attitude to work and colleagues, strained relationship, poor social skills. Ukienda pahali, the only thing you do very well is arm resting. How many of us do arm resting? Shangazi, umefurahi hiyo. Arm resting ni gani? Kama? Hapana, umeanguka mbali sana. Arm resting was the only time you are alive is when you are doing what? Inaitwa arm resting. Anyway, so you have poor social skills. Ukipatana na watu, you have nothing to say. You don't know what to say to them. You can't even introduce yourself. You go to another place, they are talking about networking. Where umekaa kwa kona peke yako, hutaki kusikia. I'm not saying it's always good. Also, have you neglected your life? Do you feel burnout from work? And I will show you what burnout is. Are you always being forced to do urgent things? Meetings. Ati tuna meeting. It's urgent. We must come on Tuesday. Saa hiyo, wewe ulikuwa umedecide Tuesday unaenda upeleka family up country. But you say yes because it is. Because it is. Mwisho. Chronic stress. And by the way, there's a new disease that has been accepted by the World Health Organization. It's called chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS. You are constantly tired today, tomorrow, the next day after that. So, what does that mean? At the end of the day, you are not even performing at the work which you think you should be doing all the time. When you get chronic fatigue syndrome, everything is disinteresting. Even the same work you are rushing to do, ukifika huko, you start dozing or scrolling. Do you know they have just released a report that scrolling has made people lose 10% of their IQ? You are constantly, do you know why you keep scrolling? Because your mind now has been attuned to being excited every 10 seconds. That's why if you're on TikTok, Instagram, ama nini ingine, Facebook, you are Twitter, you are constantly scrolling. You need your mind to be excited every 10 seconds. If you find that you can't keep your phone away for 30 minutes in a day, uko na semeni na nguvu. Uko na si mimi nimesema si nyinyi. So you have also chronic stress, poor physical and mental health. Now, the other signs, I don't want to read that. You can read it for yourself. Increased anxiety and depression. By the way, some people don't even know they are depressed. It's just happening. You find yourself irritated. Paka ikipita hapo na haija kukosea, unaipiga teke. Na kama ni mama, si ile wakati ya when you are allowed to kick the cat. You know when you are allowed to kick the cat if you are a lady. Anyway, so cannot imagine what you can do with your life after work. If you cannot imagine what you will do with your life after the work you are doing today, you do have a problem, and it's called lack of work-life balance. You feel you should be doing something else. Every day you have this thing, I want to do something else, but you can't even identify. Let me give you a secret. Just pick a piece of paper. What are the 10 things I would like to do? Now let me pick 5. Out of these 5, what are the 3 most important things I could do? You start doing. So we'll learn that when we are doing time management. So, if you're a CEO, please, from today, start practicing eagle management. As you are told, the eagle should not behave like a chicken, being everywhere. Kila saa you are everywhere. No. You are a CEO so that people, like I'm not saying I'm very good, but I learned some things early. For me, my department, there was only one thing my 4 people knew, which is only report to me the exceptions. Sio kazi ya kawaida. Tell me what has gone wrong. Don't tell me the work you have finished, because I expect you to finish. Tell me the exception. And that is what we mean. Do the right things, not doing things right. Let them report to you the exceptions, not the normal things. Hello? Why do you want to burden yourself like that? In Coca-Cola, there was a world vice president. Vice president of Coca-Cola. In their office, there was no paper that was supposed to come in. Not a single. Do you know what their work was? Job description? To think. Hello? A whole vice president, kazi yake ilikuwa nini? To think. Because many people today are reluctant to think. Na sijatukana mtu. Delegate your work with responsibility. I think somebody talked about that. Let me ask you a question. If you're a CEO, a manager, or even when you are a head teacher, you are a teacher that time. Could you go to the gym during the day if you're a CEO? Can you go to the gym? Can you take time off? You just go. If you can't, you have a problem. You have not created a good system. But my work is not management today. Family time. Do you have, somebody talked about irreducible minimums. Are there some things you say, I will not do that because it is after 7 o'clock, I'll not answer the email. It is on Friday or Saturday jioni, mpaka Monday, I will not do any office work. Do you have a policy like that? Personally. Sio lazima iandikwe pahali. You will not call me for a meeting less than 2 days before the meeting. Members, board members, are you going for urgent meetings all the time? Something is wrong. You need work-life balance. If you keep being called, but they are also, forgive me, Chairman, I already give you a disclaimer. You either like me, hate me, or there are chairmen who will call you for a meeting on Thursday evening when you are supposed to go for holiday on Friday morning. They say we have a meeting tomorrow. You have no choice. You have to go. Why wasn't it planned? Unless something ilichomeka or I don't know what else. Anyway, so have family time, have weekends. Now, leadership is seen. You will be shocked. Leadership is seen when you are absent. If you are a true leader, a good leader, the best is shown when you are away. Let me give you an example. There's a time we were trained by International Labour Organization on a process that was called Total Quality Management. Who has ever heard of TQM? All right, I'm a bit old, so I guess most of you have not heard. Anyway, so TQM was the precursor to Enterprise Resource Planning, which has become a software now. So you are trained on all aspects of your functions. One time, ILO said they want all the supervisors, all the managers, the managing director, and the board. We were going for the training. Who were left running the factory? That was Rift Valley Bottlers in Eldoret. Who were left? the production supervisors, hapana, not supervisor, below supervisor ni nani? Watu wenye wanafanya the actual work, isn't it? In Coca-Cola we had a system. We were talking about how efficient we were by counting two things. How much did we produce? How much breakage was there? Because when the bottles would break, that's a loss, isn't it? So we would compare the two figures. Nobody talked to the junior staff. They were just told all managers, all supervisors will be away. Can I shock you? Those 3 days we were away, they had the best performance for the 3 days. What does that tell you? Leadership. So it means leaders can interfere with habari zenu. Bado muko. Ninawachongoa sana. Utanikupukaje if I don't. So, those days, absences, when you are absent from work and things go well, then you should know you are running a good place. If you are a board member, you have a meeting, you create bylaws, you create policies, things move when you are away, you are doing a good job. But if you have to be there for work to be done, uko na shida ni we, but this sio mimi nimesema hivyo, si ndio? This is the way you are supposed to learn, to learn how to become an effective person in whatever you do, whether it's a meeting, whether it's running that you are CEO. This is the way it looks like. You have performance on one side and you have stress levels. Pole mwalimu. Ai. Tumekukata out. Wacha wasome. So we have this curve where if you have stress is good. A little stress is good because that's the only way deadlines are fitted, documents are printed, work continues. But if you have optimum stress, this is the optimum. So you have some stress, but also the performance is high. This is where you should live because the next area you become exhausted. The fourth area you become anxious. The last one is breakdown, burnout. So if you are not managing your performance as compared to the stress you have of deadlines, something is not right. Now, these are the statistics. 77% of staff feel the need to change jobs. And some of the people who feel like changing the job, they are saying we are stressed at work. What are they stressed with? One, we have found is leadership. The second one, lack of systems. The third one, and that's what, can you imagine, University of Eldoret telling me to go and train them on customer care. I wondered, these are the people training everybody else in Kenya, isn't it? They are doctors. Of winners and staff of Tower Sacco. Those staff need to be empowered. So, the cost of Medicare has gone up, but people are not healthier. Now, prioritizing, if you want to know how you are not doing good prioritization like we did the experiment, is that you should always have a way you are creating all the tasks that you have created, you work on them, you finish them, you go home. When you are at home, be at home. Wacha kuchukua simu za kazi unless it's emergency. But maybe you work in the fire department, so it's okay. Good afternoon. Hiyo imepita tu hivyo. So let me give you the idea of half-finished tasks. Have you entered an office, a person's office, files like lawyers, for example? And I don't like being enemies with lawyers. They can do funny things like sue you. You enter a lawyer's office or another big person's office, and you can hardly see the person because files zimejaa pande hii, zingine zimejaa hivi. And then huko kwa floor hata zingine zimewekwa like audit. Watu wangapi wametoka audit? Nimesikia kuna CEO mmoja ametoka audit. Files are all over the floor. All right? Na anakuambia don't touch anything. Even the cleaner anaambiwa don't remove anything from where it is. He knows everything where it is and where he left the work. So he always has half-finished tasks. That is a person out of balance. Don't talk to me about that person being efficient. I know otherwise. Look at Asians. Look at the way they run their shop. They open their shop at 8 o'clock. They close by. Have you ever found an Asian closing the shop? Anaweza kukufungulia. Anakuambia fanya nini? Come Discipline. It is work. There is time for family. Na akifika home, anavaa rubbers, anavaa tracksuit, anaambia wife twende. They walk. They go for a walk, talking. The children accompany them. When is the last time you walked around with your wife? Nilileta uchokozi, eh? So finally, I don't want to go so much. How many minutes do I have? Like 20? 10. So I don't want to go to so many. Why are we learning all these things? One, we need to have purpose. If you have purpose, you will do the work you're supposed to do at the right time, finish it, go home, do the things a family is looking for you. They are looking for you all the time. They need that time. Today, I think I am one parent who can say I'm successful where my children are concerned. They are still my friends. If you want to know how tough it is, how good you are as a father, when your daughter comes and asks you, Daddy, I would like to bring a friend of ours, we just go for supper, then you analyze them for me. Or your son asks you when you are seated with the mother and by the way, ulijuaje huyu ndio unataka kuoa? When you reach that point where you are so open with your children, you know you have done a good job. Wazee, habari zenu? Muko? Do you have such conversations? Wewe bwana. Nataka kumaliza hii kitu. Umekula dakika ngapi? Ati saa ngapi? Anyway, moments of connection, challenge and accomplishment, family time, personal time, interest outside work. Do you have any interest outside work? Me, I love two things. Right now, I don't have toenails. Zilitoka. Why? I walk. I walk around Karura Forest. I do 16 kilometers in a day. All right? Saturday or maybe a Sunday after church. So, I walk. But when I also decide to do serious walk, I go to Tigoni in Limuru. You go up, you go down. You go up. I have done once 33 kilometers the same day. Varian, do you have interest outside the office? That's what I'm saying. Find something to do outside the office, especially if it's going to help your health. The next thing, have realistic schedules. Don't tell the management, don't tell the board, the members, we will have these reports in 4 days. Excuse me? Give them realistic timelines. Time management, I've already talked about that. Urgent versus important. Concentrate on the important things because those are your major tasks. Okay? Focus on well-being. Nimekuambia tunakupenda. We want you to run that organization. Make good policies. Make bylaws. Give members the true position. When you make money, give them the dividends. And always, you will never feel embarrassed to tell them, we are not paying dividends this year because 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you know you have not done your work, in fact, before you even open your mouth, they know you are lying. So when you have done your job well, you will tell them in confidence and they will still re-elect you. Manage energy, I don't need to go into that. Learn to say no. Some requests, kata. If you don't know how to say no, Barry, was it? If you don't know how to say no, talk to the ladies. How many times were you told no and you are still here? Hello? Hamujashika? Okay, sawa sawa, siku ingine. Sometimes put yourself first, isn't it? You are a human being. You are a child of God. Remember that statement. You are no less deserving than the moon and the stars. So, learn to say no. Put yourself first. Prioritize your health. Because after you get sick, we will just replace you. Can you imagine? We will just replace you. There's a vacancy for a new member of the board. I say harsh things, but they are the reality, isn't it? Let go of perfectionism. There are some people who never believe it is good until they do it themselves. Take a break, self-care and well-being. Let me jump these things. Finally, I want to say, engage in a hobby. Do you have a hobby? Is there something you do outside the office, all right? I will not talk about this. Avoid devices when you are at work. For example, the people who come to a meeting like this, they are talking about risk management. They are talking about the personal risk. They are talking about compliance. But you are not focusing because you are busy on the phone. You are not writing notes. What are you doing? Scrolling and reducing your IQ by 10%. When you have a tea break, enjoy it. When it is lunch, don't do the work at lunch hour because it means in the afternoon you will not even perform. Those are the things I wanted to talk about. I want to close by asking you a serious question. Take time off, mindfulness, is also meskia. Why are we doing this? We want your offices, your meetings to have positive attitude. We also want you to bring more productivity. We want you to increase your engagement. When you go for a meeting, are you prepared? Did you receive the agenda yesterday? Do you note the things you are going to bring up? When they ask matters arising, do you say nothing? Because you never read the agenda. And you who sends the information for the meeting, do you send the agenda before? Ama ni watu wanakuta file kwa meza wanaangalia vitu wanasema, is this what we discussed last time? So, this is something I train also when I'm training people on meetings. Have a prepared agenda, send it before. Let people write their inputs before. Mwishowe, emotional and mental well-being, I don't need to engage on that. What else is left? I think I just want to ask you this question. Did you go for a holiday with your family last December? Did you go with your family? Please, don't go, usiseme yes kama mlienda Gishagi. Don't even lift your hand. That's not a holiday. Did you go for a holiday? So why are we paying you all that money? Why are we paying you all that money? Pay school fees. Sikia. Hiyo. Wenda ngambo ile. Kuna kitu kama holiday hapo. Because I know many men go with their wives and the wives are just sent directly to the kitchen. Did you have a day for yourself when you are on holiday? Siku yenye unatoka tu, like me, I love driving. So sometimes I just go, I say I'm not deciding where I'm going. I just go to a petrol station, weka hiyo amount ya fuel, then now I say, do I go this way or this way? I drive. Mimi, I have no other crime in Kenya but overspeeding. The only thing I do. And that's why I came at 4 a.m. jana, so that I don't meet the cops. So do you have time for yourself? I've told you I walk during weekends. So I'm going to enjoy Kesho. The next thing, which is the last one, did you engage in a hobby on those 2 days? So, the results of what you do when you are at work, you concentrate on the work. For the next 3 hours, I'm not doing anything except work. Na mimi nikitoka 6, don't call me about that email. Where were you the whole day? Did you respond? And unfortunately now, work is following us because on my phone, the email Nini server is there, isn't it? I get my emails even on the phone. But I'll not respond unless it is urgent. But I refuse urgent things. I only want to do important things. So, we have done this because we want a balanced work-life schedule. When you do your work well, you live your life well, you will have a sense of fulfillment. Second thing, a sense of self-worth. Ukitembea tu hivi unasema yenyewe winners wako na bahati kuwa. Why am I picking on winners all the time? Tabasamu wako na bahati sana. Walinipata. I help them with their work. Because you have done a good day's work. When you leave the house, your wife is asking, na leo si ungekula zile matunda haukula jana. Amekuletea kwa gari. Kwa sababu ulikuja mapema, you engage the kids, mkaongea. Kwanza siku hizi CBC imewashika, mnafanya homework pamoja. Siku hizi nasikia mnapea hata not this generation. Wenye wanafanya kazi kwenu wanapea they made the work of doing homework. I can see a few smiles. I know some people who are doing it. A sense of purpose. So, sense of fulfillment, self-worth, and a sense of purpose. So, I want to jump all the others, impacting the lives. By the way, board members, you are impacting on lives. You are contributing to people's legacy. You will be one of the people they will remember. In fact, I want to jump to the quote there. You are giving back to society. At the end of the day, what have you done for somebody else? All right? Because the work you are doing today is impacting. Or I don't need enthusiasm, relationship. So I want you to write that one down. Work and life, then write. 1. Plan like you live forever. Plan like you will live forever. Work like you will die tomorrow. Work like you will die tomorrow. So plan like you will live forever. Work like you will die tomorrow. Do you see the value in those statements? Plan for what you are doing because you want consistency, a system, doing the right things. So plan like you will live forever. Work like you will die tomorrow. Wakati wangu umeisha. Practice mindfulness. I don't need to emphasize on that. So I want to ask you a question, and that's a book by Robin Sharma. He's one of the leadership coaches in the world. Robin Sharma. Who will cry when you die? Is it just your family? Habari zenu? Hampeni mambo ya kukufa? Si mzuri? Who will cry when you die? Me, I would like some people. By the way, me, I think quite a number of people will come and cry. You know why? For 23 years, I've worked in Uganda, Congo, I've worked in TZ. So, I know quite a number of people say, my goodness, that noisy guy has died. Now, what would you like to be written on your tombstone? What is an epitaph? An epitaph is what is written on your tombstone when you have died. Here lies a great man. Here lies a great man. That's the epitaph. So whatever you want written on your tombstone, work on it now. Do your work well. Have a work-life balance. Let your family benefit from you working. Let the people you are helping contribute to building a house, paying school fees. Those people one day will say, by the way, Mungu asaidie mtu. Do you know sometimes we are kept by the prayers of the people who pray for us? So you people are in a very unique position to impact people's lives. Please don't let yourself down. The only thing I will add to work-life balance ni hapo katikati pawe na kitu inaitwa afya, health and wellness. I always imagine that no matter how much money you make, no matter how much impact you make, no matter how balanced you are, if you don't have health, you are poorer than the people who can't afford a meal a day. So every day you get up, decide what you are going to do, reflect on what you are going to do. Jioni, reflect on what you have done. What can you improve tomorrow? And you will feel satisfied. You will have a sense of purpose. You will wake up. You will walk up straight. You will know you have impacted people's lives.